Hello and welcome to Memoirs of Successful Women. I'm Annie Gibbins, founder and CEO of Women's Biz Global, and I invite you to kick off your heels, get comfortable, and be ready to receive the golden nuggets that are shared as you listen in to candid conversations I have with fascinating women from around the globe. Business leaders, entrepreneurs, humanitarians, athletes, and a whole lot of regular people. They will keep you riveted as they let their guard down and open up on aspects of their business and life journey, how they measure success, and what they have learned along the way. My intent is that our conversations will inspire you to embrace opportunities and possibilities beyond the limits of your imagination, because I know that this is where we reclaim our power. I want you to reclaim your power, your strength and vulnerability to stand in your truth and propel yourself towards the life that you dream to live. Hello and welcome to Women's Biz Podcast. I am your host, Annie Gibbins, and I am so delighted to introduce my guest today. Her name is Sally Gimon. She is a dynamic real estate investor with an impressive track record of 26 successful bank-owned auction houses and wholesale deals. She manages a diverse portfolio of 12 notes, and her expertise extends into the world of cryptocurrency and stake investment. With a keen eye for financial optimization, Sally employs Beneficial and Spendthrift Trusts to save a staggering 92% of which equates to $177,000 on her 1099 income tax. Oh my goodness. Sally is on a mission to share her wealth building knowledge and tax saving strategies with fellow investors and business owners. So let's do that today. Welcome to the program, Sally.
Thank you for having me, Annie. I'm so glad to be here.
It's a delight to have you, and this is a whole new conversation for me on Women's Biz Podcast. So I'm looking forward to sharing it with you and our listeners today. Now, you have an extensive success history in real estate investment, all right? I've already done that in the intro. Can you share a memorable experience or a lesson that significantly impacted your approach to investing in real estate?
My personal story, my oldest nephew got married back in October of 2018. My mom and dad were living in just west of Phoenix, Arizona, and drove cross country to Charlotte area. Along the way, my mom got dehydrated and she got septic of the blood, which is blood poisoning. And she was on a ventilator for 13 months and in a hospital for 15 months. My parents had planned to be away from their house in Goodyear, Arizona for only 2 weeks, and my dad ended up staying in the Charlotte area with my mom for 9 months. I flew out for the wedding, red eye to go to the wedding. I went into my mother's hospital room, and the priest was giving her last rites. I mean, that changed everything. And then when I got the first, here in the United States, when you're over 65, you get your Medicare statement. It came in December, and it was 27 pages thick, about this thick, and it said it was $172,000 for 1 month in the hospital. Right then and there, I called my friend Glenn, who was a real estate investor, saying, I need to change my life because I had a mortgage, I had student loans, credit cards, I had 2 car payments. I knew I was living paycheck to paycheck, and he said, next weekend, we're having a Christmas party, bring the $5 gift and bring food and meet some people. And it was the best decision I ever did. So I'm so glad I got involved with real estate.
Oh my gosh, what a huge impetus to suddenly going, I need to seriously change track and make some money here. And when you see it done successfully by someone else and you can be mentored in that way, what a stroke of luck in timing, although a very bad time for you personally. Incredible. You I mentioned in the bio that you've told me that you use Beneficial and Spendthrift Trusts. I'd love to hear about that, on how you then are able to save a substantial amount in your taxes. So what is that all about? Tell our listeners.
Correct. You're in Australia. This comes from England way back when King Henry VIII got in trouble for chopping off his wives' heads. He went to go tax the lords and ladies of England, and they went back further into history to the Magna Carta. It is contract law, came to the colonies while we were still a colony of Britain. The law firm I work on behalf of has a trust in 2023 that turned 350 years old. The business trust is for business owners and 1099 income earners. They will save at least 70% on their federal taxes year after year before they take deductibles. And then the beneficial trust is for any investor. They're going to save short-term and long-term capital gains, interest income, dividend income, rental income, and royalties. And it's saving my clients thousands of dollars, just like the Rockefellers, the DuPonts, and the Carnegies. If they can do it, we should be able to do it too.
I love it. I love it. Yeah, why should everyone else be having the joy? And you've actually embraced an English model. That's what you're saying. So although you're in the States, this English model, this long-standing English model actually benefits, in your opinion, most Americans.
Correct.
Incredible.
Most people have not heard of it. Unfortunately, the articles I have from Forbes magazine says you should be making about $5 million. I want to help the average American. In my national real estate group, the average person joining is a 56-year-old man trying to make some money before he retires in 10 years. And, I got in trouble. In 2019, I was working full-time and I wholesaled 7 bank-owned properties. I had to get on a payment plan with the IRS because I didn't know, I didn't know how much it was going to cost. And the best thing that happened, this sounds horrible, when COVID happened in July of 2020, I took down the deal of the week. I was $20,000 for a contract for a bank-owned reverse mortgage that was going to go to auction for $50,000. So I'm going to make $30,000 in that spread. And I knew my tax rate was 24%. I knew I was going to pay at least $7,100 in capital gains. That I had enough time to research it. It took me 13 months for COVID restrictions to be lifted. I found the trust in September of 2020, and that was my first property that I put in the trust. And when it finally went to auction, August 28th of 2021, it went up to over $64,000. But more importantly, Annie, I saved $10,580 in short-term capital gains. That's life-changing. I mean, to me, that, I paid off my car with that, so exactly.
Absolutely incredible. Managing a diverse portfolio that includes notes and cryptocurrency and stake investments, it requires real strategy, right? You can't just kind of be casually into this space. You're very strategic in your approach. So what advice do you have for investors seeking to diversify their portfolios effectively so that they can navigate this different investment opportunities, different avenues to go in?
My number one thing I would say is just do it. It's in my real estate group. I teach a mastermind on Thursday nights, but we have meetings every day of the week if I can make them. And when you get on that Zoom, there's like 40 to 60 people all there, and I can say, "Oh, that person did a deal." That I can point people out, and most of the people who are on the Zoom haven't done anything yet. Right now, unfortunately, in the United States, people are struggling because interest rates and everything else. In my real estate group, we talk about creative financing. Go door knock on someone's door. Door knock for 2 hours on a Saturday afternoon and find a deal and work with them because they should be doing something. I just got off a phone call with a gentleman who is really working hard with his real estate, but he's doing something instead of sitting back and watching Netflix, unfortunately.
Exactly. Nothing wrong with a little bit of Netflix, but not the whole time when you're watching money go down the drain.
Correct.
Oh my goodness. So you've built 3 online businesses alongside your real estate ventures. Very impressive. Congratulations.
Correct. One of the companies I have is Sally Silver, where it's silver coins. Most people don't realize silver is a commodity. It's in your cell phone. It was in my mom's pacemaker. It's in solar panels. It's in electric cars. So you can either be a consumer, get silver coins delivered to you, or you can bring people in. Another part of that I deal with is United Financial Services that helps people pay down their mortgage in 5 to 7 years, because I think in Australia, you guys do velocity banking where you don't have to pay. In the United States, we pay the interest first before we start paying the principal. So when you finally pay off a house in 30 years, you could have bought 2 houses with how much you paid the banks. So that's another business I run to get people to figure out how to do this. I just got a brand new Tesla. Love it. But my Tesla, I will have it paid off in under 20 months using the velocity banking system that other people around the world know about, but we don't do it in the United States. And I think I'm going to save over $7,000 in interest income because I had when I went to get the car, they offered me a 5-year loan and I'm going to pay it off in under 2 years. So it's an amazing thing to do. So I want to help as many Americans. We're drowning in debt in the United States, unfortunately.
I love that. I love that. Exciting. And yes, Teslas are great, aren't they? So running all these businesses, doing such a shift, later in life, which is really encouraging because a lot of my listeners are at later in life going, you know what, now is the time. What am I waiting for? I need to start diversifying. I need to be a bit more bold and strategic. What have been the biggest lessons that you have learned being able to run these multiple businesses, right? Because you didn't suddenly just go, oh, I know how to do this. What were your biggest learnings, if you like, on what you needed to learn and do well?
I'm going to be honest. I had no idea about social media. I was not on Facebook. I actually got a coach to do TikTok. This is going to be funny. I have more clients coming from TikTok. I have 5 nieces who were appalled that Aunt Sally was getting on TikTok. They were afraid I was going to dance. I have over 16.6 thousand followers. I just did a live today. I do a live on Monday and Fridays. My live today had over 500 people on the live listening to what I had to say. And I get more clients from there because I do very short, less than 1 minute videos about the trust, the business trust, the saving capital gains, saving interest income, dividend income, rental income. And I have different hashtags. And, people will laugh at me. You get business from TikTok? And I get more business from TikTok than LinkedIn and Facebook put together times it by 10.
Incredible. I love it. And you're never too old to go onto TikTok. I've done that this year too. And it's, you know what, you go for it. And it's more about, well, where are your potential clients? And that's what you're finding. People often ask me as a business coach, well, which platform should I be on? I go, well, wherever your potential clients are, that's where you should be on.
Correct.
Don't waste your time. You're not there just to entertain people. You're actually there to be able to show an opportunity for those who are interested. And if yours is TikTok, then you should be TikToking away, I say. Fantastic. But you've also got different competing interests. So when you've got different businesses, you've also then got to manage them all sort of strategically, independently. How do you navigate that challenge to be able to be really focused in each of the areas?
That's a great question. One of the things I have, I don't know if you have GoDaddy in Australia, but I have different email accounts for each one of my businesses. And literally 3 times a day, I check different businesses just to see what the email comes through. I also do different lives at different times on different media. Sally, today at 4:00 on Facebook, I have a nonprofit, Learn with Sally Marie, where I go teach people how to pay down debt. I purposely did that, and then I spent time afterwards in that email answering questions because people were sending me emails on that. I don't know if you have my watch is a Google watch, but it has a Pomodoro method on there. So I purposely schedule only 20 minutes to post. When I do my 6 videos on TikTok, I repost it to YouTube, to Instagram, and Twitter, and I can do everything in under 30 minutes and get the same information out to the different medias. And that's my Pomodoro method. I don't go on Facebook and LinkedIn or any of the social medias to socialize. I'm just there to post and get off and deal with meetings. Like today, I had 8 different meetings. Those are my first priority that I have to deal with, if that makes sense.
It makes so much sense. And I hope your learning from this, my listeners, on how focused and time savvy you're actually being with your businesses, Sally. So it's you know, you can get lost in different platforms, but it's very clear that you are very strategic, very focused. If TikTok's your one, then I'm assuming you're sharing the TikTok video. You're not redoing videos for different places. Now, some people might need to do that, and I'm not saying that's not necessary, but for your audience, it sounds like it can be easily done in one platform and then shared to others.
Oh, I'm lazy. I share it. The video goes, so I record it on TikTok. It goes to Instagram. It goes to YouTube. From YouTube, it goes to LinkedIn, Facebook, and Twitter. And it's kind of funny. My Twitter account, I started it back in September at 0. I'm now over 400 people on Twitter that you'll just keep posting. I post every single day. Make sure I post it. That's my number one priority after my meetings, because I want to get the message out, because at different times when you post, you reach different people. So maybe I might post one night at 8 o'clock, and the next day I might post at 11 o'clock in the morning, and just to get different people who are on different platforms at different times. And
are you measuring the data on what is your most successful time to post and things of that nature? Are you looking at it very analytically?
Correct. One thing I love about TikTok is they give you the data. They give you the data after 24 hours, more like 48 hours. A big difference for TikTok versus Facebook and LinkedIn. Facebook and LinkedIn only go to the people who are in your sphere, in your group. TikTok, like when I talk about royalties, my hashtag is NFT, NFT artist, NFT real estate. People who I have nothing to do with being in the meta world, and it goes out to them. And it's interesting. My royalty message, my capital gains message, and my dividend message on TikTok are the highest trending ones there. I've got more clients who are day traders right now than any other group of people as clients at this point.
Oh, amazing.
I don't do any day trading.
Congratulations to you. Amazing. Absolutely amazing. Do you think it's because of your presence, the way you write, the style of your videos, or the hashtags that you use, a combination of all of the above? What do you think is the strongest factor that will attract a specific audience to you?
I want to say honestly, it's the hashtags, and then being short but concise, and on every video I leave, hey, this is how to reach out to me. If you want to save taxes. Like today, when I went live on TikTok, I mentioned it, the call to action, schedule an appointment with me at least 4 times. And from that went at 12:30. From that meeting, I got 8 appointments set up this week from that meeting alone. I don't know if they're going to buy a trust, but at least I'll be talking to people, getting the word out to 8 new people. That to me, that was a great meeting.
Oh, that is an excellent meeting. Yeah, exactly. What a fantastic return of investment. Are you keeping all of your videos under a minute, or does that not matter? Because it makes it so much easier to share to Instagram, or are you not focused on that?
Well, like the what I did, the meeting today on TikTok was for 28 minutes. I reposted to YouTube. It's a longer video, and then I reposted it to both Twitter and to Facebook. I do a 5-minute, between 4 minutes to 7-minute thing on YouTube, and repost it to Twitter and to YouTube every other day, saying, hey, this is what a business person saved, or this is what a real estate investor or some kind of investor saved. And, again, I'm just growing my audience faster and faster. My YouTube audience is not that big. It's only about, it's under 500 right now. But one place where I'm growing really fast is Instagram. All of a sudden, I don't know what happened in the last 3 weeks. It's just, I got over 800 new followers on Instagram, and I'm posting the same video from TikTok to Instagram to Facebook. And it's just, people are picking it up, if that makes sense.
It sure does. And what a great problem to have. I absolutely love that. And what I'm hearing, and I'm sure the listeners are hearing, is just the consistency. When people often ask me, should I post 3 times a week, 5 times a week? You've got someone like Sally going, no, I'm you're actually posting, at least daily, but sometimes multiple, times daily to get that presence out. So people just see you and they end up getting
Exactly.
that following quicker, which is super important to know. Now, as an advocate for tax saving strategies, what are some of the common misconceptions or overlooked opportunities that you often encounter when working with investors or business owners looking to optimize their financial situation?
Great question. The number one thing that I think people here in the United States, people tell me, oh, my LLC keeps my information completely private. Completely not true. I can do a Freedom of Information letter to either the Secretary of State or to the Corporation Commission. And then another thing that they're not aware of is they don't know the tax consequences. Today I had a meeting with a gentleman who's doing a fix and flip. And when he found out how much his capital gains were going to be, it was going to eat all his profit from the fix and flip. He didn't do his numbers correctly. So that's the one key I would say to anybody in any kind of investment: know your numbers inside and out, because they could come back and really haunt you if you didn't do them correctly.
Yes, don't trust other people. Know your own self. So a lot of people don't feel confident though. It can be intimidating when you're looking in this space, you're wanting to be more aware of it, but and get engaged in it, but it can be intimidating. What advice do you give to those people that, like before you said, just do it, just launch in, but like, how do they do that? What's your advice for someone who's aspiring to get involved, whether it's as a real estate investor or an investor in the other options that we've been talking about? Because it can feel like a massive leap.
One of the things, when people say they're interested, I still do a mastermind in my Phoenix, Arizona group, even though I live in the Charlotte, North Carolina area. So on Tuesday nights, there's a property tour from the Phoenix area, and on Wednesday nights there's a property tour from the Chattanooga, Tennessee area. I give people the Zoom links. Hey, get on there to see what's happening. Last week it was a friend of mine. She's actually a client of mine. She does mobile homes in Ogden, Utah. She is the first person that 4 different mobile home parks contact when someone passes away or gets evicted, that they know that she can go in, rehab that mobile home in under 4 weeks and get it back up. Get another person in there, because the mobile homes want to get the rent from the land. She's done something like 62 mobile homes, and she did a last week. She did a whole thing. Here's how we start. We first start with the bathrooms, then we do the bedrooms, then the last thing we do is the kitchen and put the flooring in. And I learned, I've never done a mobile home, but I learned how to do that correctly, because that was her property tour. And get the information and then start doing something, because the worst thing to do is just sit back and let things happen to you.
Yeah, and just wait. I think a lot of people wait for the right time, wait till things improve. So for that person who's sitting there going, they might even have not much. They've got $5,000, $10,000, and go, that's it. What advice would you give them on how to invest that money?
Well, right now, one of the things that's happening in the United States is interest rates have gotten so high that people can't afford to sell their house or buy a house. So one of the things I've spent time on is learning about seller financing. So one of the deals I have that's closing in the month of October, he's under contract to move from the Charlotte area down to Houston. He needs the money to buy a house in Houston. So what we did is we got a seller financing involved. I got somebody else's money to give him enough money to put down payment on his house in Houston. And then we've got a renter in there who's going to be paying his mortgage. So and it's just a technique I learned on my own, like going through my real estate classes. I studied it, and when I knocked on his door, I could talk to him logically and walk him through the steps, if that makes sense. And I only go out on Saturday afternoons, and I've got several real estate deals already established for October. So it's an amazing thing.
Yeah, it is amazing, and it's encouraging for people who think, well, I don't have much, I can't do what the big end of town are doing, but everybody can, invest in some way. That's what you're saying. For every single person, there's a way of making more value for what you've got, and sitting on it is not going to help you. It never will. So how can people reach out to you, Sally? What can you offer them, our listeners, today?
I offer them, if they go out to my website, www.thetrustisyou.com, I have a free 18-minute video that they can get sent to their email, and then they can set up a 30-minute tax breakthrough session with me. Literally, I take them out to Credit Nerd. We talk about their taxes. I show them, hey, there's 7 different layers from 10% to 37%, 7 different layers, and 4 ways to file your taxes. On the Zoom, I show them a calculator, how I'm figuring this out, give them that information, and send them an email with it. If they're a business owner or if they're an investor, how they're going to save money. One of my conversations today was a gentleman who needs to sell some crypto coins, and he's just like, I never knew I'd have to pay that much in capital gains, and it's going to take him a few weeks because he's got to go back to Coinbase and change the account. But at least he knows he's going to save over $12,000 in capital gains. That's life-changing for him. He's working, and he what he needs to do. Congratulations to them, his wife with twins, and that they need to put an extension on their house. That's why he's selling the crypto coins. And he's like, an extra $12,000, we could put that into college funds for the kids. Things like that.
So true. It really is life changing, and I think that's the incentive. I think for people who've never thought of being a bit braver, being bolder, checking out different opportunities and seeing what works for them in their financial situation. You've mentioned life changing a few times, and I really believe that is so true. If you can focus on a bit of money for a child's investment portfolio for themselves, a college fund, an extension or an extra room so your kids aren't on top of each other. This is where you actually start going, yes, the money can be used in a certain way. Exactly. So sometimes it's to obviously acquire wealth and to continue doing that. And other times it is, it just gives me opportunity. It gives me flexibility. It gives me choice of how I actually might want to spend that money or reinvest that money into future investments.
That's exactly what it does. It gives you choices. And, when you have options, you don't feel pressure to do something. He and his wife discussed they needed to add on to the house, and he saw one of my YouTube videos, and he's like, I need to talk to you, and it's going to take a few months, but it's going to work. And for them to find out saving that much money, that she's going to stop working to stay home, take care of the twins. That's going to give them more options with the money they have, if that makes sense.
It makes so much sense. Sally, it's been such a great conversation today. I think this is such an interesting topic, right? It's one where we're all struggling with cost of living prices, that we're all at this stage of going, I just need a little bit more. I need a little bit more in my account to be able to give me the choices, to be able to have that flexibility, to be able to have a choice to maybe not work so hard, have that choice to pay for the twins or the kids to have a separate room, to be able to invest in one of your kids' college accounts, I think you said before, to be able to even have money to then invest more and to actually start building your wealth portfolio. I think we all approach our own finances in a different way, and that is absolutely normal and essential because we've got different circumstances. It has been so helpful to have this conversation today. For those of you who are maybe in the States close to Sally, I encourage you to reach out to her on the information provided on the podcast. You can then even go to one of her live events. If you are anywhere else in the world, definitely drop onto her TikTok, if you're a TikToker, any of her social, also the link provided in the show notes, and be able to just reach out to her. She'll definitely be able to steer you in the right direction. And I look forward to hearing your success stories over the months ahead. Thanks for being on the show today, Sally.
Thank you for having me, Annie. I appreciate you taking the time to interview me. Thank you.
Thanks so much for tuning in to this episode of Memoirs of Successful Women. I'm Annie Gibbins, founder and CEO of Women's Biz Global. And if you would like to fast track your future success, hop on over to womensbizglobal.com. find out about all things women's biz, and most importantly, take the opportunity to have a free trial of Women's Biz Tribe. I look forward to seeing you online very soon. Until next episode, bye for now.